Much better. And good Sunday evening, folks, and welcome out to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday night where it is time for the Warrior Roundup. I am Doug Gann alongside of head coach Josh Brown. And, Coach, another busy week on there we'll get into in just a minute on there. But I look down, and we're over the halfway point of the season. Man, it got here quick.
Goes by fast.
Look, it seems like we're sitting here talking about what's going on in the schedule. It's February and the coaches convention, and now all of a sudden we're in the last weekend in March.
Like I said before, I think baseball's too short, and softball. I feel like, we're trying to squeeze all these games in, and here we are. We're right towards the end. We got a few weeks to go.
Look, there's no doubt that the fan base certainly gets to know each other. They're at the ballpark most nights on there. Thankfully, there are a lot of home games out of it, too, and they're not on the road too much. Now, district comes into play, and you've got that going on. But halfway through district as well, you guys sit at 4-0 on there. A couple of key matchups coming up as you've got Charter this week, and then you'll turn around with Glenmora after that, too. What are your thoughts after the first half of district versus what you're looking at coming into it?
I mean, anytime you're 4-0, you're going to take that.
That's right.
I mean, I can't say enough about the guys. I mean, finding a way to compete and, get a big win against Oak Hill when, we wasn't doing too much at the plate, and we found a way to scrap and claw and get that win. And, then last week I felt like our bats came around and we got hot, and, I was really proud of kids being focused, taking care of business against Monterey. So I was really proud of that. But anytime you're 4-0 and you're going in the second half of district, you're going to take that.
Well, you absolutely are, because there's opportunities for you to play to the level of the competition and not go out there. And you guys, as I look up and down, you guys go in there and take care of the business that needs to be taken care of and put teams away early that you have to put away early.
Correct. That's the main thing. I told our kids, you don't want to look ahead and you get beat. A lot of teams do that. They're focused on somebody else, and you look up and they got a loss. And, we told our team, one game at a time and focus on the team who's ahead and worry about them, and we'll take care of the rest down the road.
Well, look, we'll work our way backward for this week, and that game yesterday against Westlake was a big one. They're a very good team. That dude on the mound for them, the Hardesty guy, he had to be 6'2", 6'3", and about 220. He was a big fella throwing the ball at them.
Yeah, they list him at 6'5". He looked about 6'4" to me, but he's around. They list him at 6'5". Big old kid coming out of Orm.
Look, from 6'2" to 6'5", it doesn't really matter at that point.
He's a good looking kid. He's just a junior too, man.
Wow, he's gonna be a tough one. Have I noticed? We've talked before that the one thing that the key to that 17 championship is that a lot of spirit and a lot of fight in there, and I'm starting to see that. But I'm telling you what, your fan base is as spirited as any that I've found. I mean, when you got to stop the game and hold on a minute, that's.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're energetic, and we got a great fan base. One of the best group of parents I've ever had. I'm pleased with those guys. They're really great, supportive. It's just I think some people, they want a balk call, this or that from the other opposing team, and probably don't really know the rules sometimes, and. You gotta let them sometimes let them talk, and we'll take care of business and let the umpires do their job.
That's right. Look, and we made a comment on the air too when they were talking about when they're erroneously calling balk out of the stands. I thought they were chickens out there, balk. But anyway, that was. So I told him, I said, look, that hasn't been a balk this year. It hasn't been a balk in the 3 years that he's had that move, and it's not ever going to be.
No, man, he's got one of the best moves as a lefty, no doubt. I mean, he's really good. He's got a great move. I mean, the coach Blake after the game, he did nothing but praise our team after the game. Right. He said, Coach, out of the last 3 years we've played y'all, I think this is the best team you've had. He's like, you guys have a solid group. He's like, we're impressed with y'all. We thought the freshmen at the beginning really handcuffed us a little bit, and they kind of took advantage of a couple things that we did. And, I felt like if we could have avoided, that we got 2 outs, it's 3-2. We didn't get a check swing. That's a bad thing about high school baseball. That umpire in the middle of the field, he's not going to be able to see that check swing. If he's on first and third, he's probably going to be able to see that. And then there was a call right after that we thought was, I don't know, it was borderline. I felt like we should have got the call. We didn't get it. You know, that happens. And then the next thing you know, a walk here and then just a base hit there, and you look up and you're down 7-2 instead of 3-2.
Right, and that's the thing too. When you come back and Canyon has the big home run. Yes, we did acknowledge that Big Time is back. And even when he's rounding first, headed to second, and he points up to the booth like, see, I'm back. And it's good to see him hitting the ball that way. But I've just noticed a little bit more fire out of him over the last week or so. And perhaps a loss like that does as much for you as a win over a Pleasant Hill or anything.
Yeah, the last few weeks, I would say really it started with the game at New Iberia. You're down 12-2, and you find out the fight when you look up and you take a 13-12 lead after being down 10 runs. I feel like since that game, we have really shown a lot of grit, determination. You know, we're not going to quit. We're going to fight till the 21 outs is complete, and I'm really proud of them for that. I mean, they're going to fight tooth and nail and show up every day. So, you know, I can't say enough about that. If we can continue to do that, we're going to do good things. And, again, anytime you get a compliment from a good coach like Blake Reed, who, you know, him and his staff, he's got a great staff. You know, they were telling us after the game, you know, really like y'all's ball club a lot. You know, you got a really good pitching staff over there, and y'all are going to do good things if you keep plugging away. And, you know, that's a great compliment. And we didn't even feel like we played our best game. I mean, we told the kids after the game, you know, we didn't even feel like we played our best. So just imagine when we do play our best, you know, when we're getting a compliment like that.
And you look back at playing your best. I start looking at the standings now as we start making our way towards the end of the season, as you're in the last third of it, I guess, is what it is. But there are 8 teams, well, let's go 7 teams that have right at a 24 power rating and above in there. And you and I talked about it. Anytime you've got that many people up around 24 and 25 on your power ratings, that's just solid competition.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. It's, man, I mean, there's 10 or 12 teams in Class B. I mean, really, I told Coach this morning, Coach Weed used to coach at FCCS. I told him, I said, there's 14 teams. They're pretty good, man.
That's right.
It's a tough bracket. That might be, besides the 5A bracket, this might be the second toughest bracket out there. I really believe that.
Pound for pound, I definitely believe it is one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive ones, where you'll throw names into a hat and pull out somebody and I can give you a good reason why they're going to win the state championship this year. And then we'll shake them up, do it again, and I can give you and talk you into why they're going to win the state championship. But, you know, it goes back to several years when they had the split, and you guys played, gosh, was it all the way back to 17? Yeah, because you won the title there. And so you beat all of the teams that were in there. And that's just good to see. Now you're all back together. You go out there and battle.
Man, it's going to be a battle for sure. I wish that thing was a 3-game series. I know that.
Look, especially along the way, you'd like to.
I mean, that's the way baseball's built to be. I would just wish it was that way all the way through every class.
And there's not any opportunity. They still will pull it up and vote on it, or
pretty much.
Don't have arms.
Pretty much, somebody's got to, I guess, propose that, and then you kind of go from there.
Well, we look a little bit closer, so we'll get back into our district standings. You guys are sitting there at 16-4 on the season and 4-0 in district, and I don't believe anybody. Well, short of Glenmore, but they've only played the 2 on there, and we saw them on 446 Sports the other night against Menard as well. But, yeah, sitting at 4-0, knowing that we've got some momentum going into there, that's got to help things out.
Oh, for sure. Excited about it, man. A lot of momentum, and, you know, Avoyles Charter is a team that, you know, they won state the last 2 years. And
now they're below the cut line, too, so they're not sitting
and that's not really, you know, they're a good ball club. I mean, everybody knows it. You know, they beat Oak Hill 4-0 and then blow a 3-1 lead in the 7th inning. So, you know, I mean, everybody knows. And then they played Glenmore. It was 0-0 for going into the bottom of the 8th, and Glenmore has to win the first one 1-0, and then they played again 12-9. And so it's a competitive district. You got to be ready night in and night out.
And then you throw in all of the other games. I mean, you talk about the Westlake game, but we look ahead to April 1st. Now, that's not an April Fool's joke. You guys are going to lace them up against 21-1 Benton.
We are. We're going to lace them up against 21-1 Benton. And
that's not an April Fool's joke. You guys going to battle.
We're going to battle. You know, we got them and Barb coming up in April, and we feel like it's only going to make us better. And, you know, we look forward to the challenge.
Look, it definitely will. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit with some of the players and get an idea of what their thoughts are on the coming week. We'll also look back at the first half of district, the first half of the season, and see some things that stood out for you in the stats-wise. And I know not getting into being a stat rat by any means, but there's some things that people are doing consistently that we want to talk about. We'll award our BU Designs Player of the Week, and we'll do all of that. And it's family night here, too. We might even, well, I don't know. We've got to monitor who we bring under the microphone over here, too. So don't go anywhere. We will be back. You're watching the Warrior Roundup right here on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible, so if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
And we're back. It is the Warrior Roundup show here with head coach Josh Brown live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Coach, some of the things that stood out to you in the first half of the season. Let's look at the pitching staff.
Yeah, let me bring these stats up, man. Pitching staff, you know, we've had 8 guys, I believe, thrown this year for us. Let's see here.
You know, when we talked earlier in the season, that was certainly one of the keys, that you had a lot of arms, and you thought that would benefit you if there was a 3-game set, which there's not, so it doesn't really matter in that sense of it. But we've seen that scores have been low, that these guys have come in and they've thrown quality innings. Walks occasionally are there, but for the most part, you don't see a lot of it.
No, not at all. I mean, the staff's been really good. One of the things I was looking last night, Cooper Courtwright's pitched 9 in the third as we use him as a closer type deal, late innings. And he's got 21 strikeouts.
In 9 innings.
In 9 innings. So, I mean, that tells you right there how good and I know when we brought him in, the third base coach looked at me and said, really? He's like, how old is this kid? So he was impressed, and we thought he had a really good velo last night. He struck out 3 batters, and there's only inning to work. But yeah, the staff's been good. One thing I will tell you too, so we pitched 9 kids already this year. Canyon leading the way with 26 innings pitched, Maddox 21, Logan 19, Brady 16. Cooper 9 1/3, Talon 8 1/3. Then we got some other guys that's come in and pitched a little bit under single digits. But, anytime 177 strikeouts to 65 walks is pretty good.
You'll take that, and that just is a testament to what we talk about, that strikeout to walk ratio, because I can remember the games and the walks come in bunches. And so if you take out 3 or 4 games where there were 7 or 8 walk games, well, now it even looks like it's a much better margin.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing I like about this team, again, you're playing 3 or 4 teams a week or games or whatever, and you district-wise, I feel like you're set up. You got 4 or 5 kids that if you need them, you can go to them. And so that's what's special about this group. Usually in the past, we've always had probably a guy had 7 or 8 wins at this point. But now it's really tough to get to that point because, I think we got 3 guys. They got 3. Well, I'm sorry, we got 1 with 4 wins, and we got 3 guys with 3 wins. But there's 8 guys with wins on the team. So, I mean, it's impressive when you can do that, and people are fresh. That's the thing. We wanted to keep everybody fresh, and we're trying to use some guys once a week. Last night we did use some guys that we normally would not use on a weekend, but we were able to do that because we played Monterey and we got big leads and we shut some guys down early. And then some guys didn't even pitch, so it kind of worked out for us this week.
And you're good to go rolling into Tuesday, which is your game. And that game is at Charter.
Correct.
The Tuesday night one, so it'll be Thursday night when you guys are back here.
Correct.
And you've picked up, did I see, so on the schedule originally that was on there, Northside was set up for Saturday, but that game got moved to earlier in the year. That was that Saturday morning iPad game, I like to call it.
Yeah, we lost the game early because of basketball, and we found them, and they were willing to change and move it up, so we did that.
So what's on tap for Saturday now? I see what's on the schedule of Arcadia.
Yeah, right now we got Arcadia. We've kind of been in talks trying to find somebody and maybe move to Arcadia. If we don't, we'll just play the Arcadia game, but we are trying to add somebody else. We'll just see how it goes. I know Mother Nature looks like it's coming back in Friday, Saturday. So that's a concern, and who knows? I mean, like I was telling our coaches a while ago, maybe we need to move a game up somewhere. I don't know. Then you got to start looking at weather, especially with the last few weeks coming.
That's right.
You really don't have a whole lot of
You don't have room to put things. That's right.
So that's another key factor in it.
And it's crazy too because you've got to make those decisions 2 or 3 days in advance. And just this morning, we're looking at the weather, and there's a big line, and it's 60-70% chance from 2 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's all moved around, and there's not a bit of it on us.
Correct. You just never know. I mean, again, we just at this time of year, we're just trying to play baseball, and we need to get these games in, and anytime these teams are adding, I really wasn't trying to add too much more, but when you see other people doing it, you're kind of like, man, I need to add a game here too,
How much movement is there this late in the season in the power rankings? I mean, on these games, because you start averaging on, and now you've got a bigger average, the group that you're able to use, a median average. So how much difference is it making for a team that's played 20 games already?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference, and then you're going to really see it start panning out. Some teams haven't even started district till this week.
Right.
I see Elizabeth, Hicks, that district, they start playing district this week. Some of these teams are doing a single game, and then they're going into a district tournament.
Yeah, I think Menard has set up that. What's the deal been about that?
I personally would like to see us maybe all go to that.
Okay.
I think, sometimes when you play somebody twice in district, and they don't win a game or win one game, it's really not benefiting you.
Right.
So these teams that are in that are doing the one-game series, man, they're kind of you know, hey, I'm going to play a team with 1 win tonight, but I have to play them in district, and I may go add, you know, on the schedule somebody with 25 wins, and it kind of evens out. But I just, you know, sometimes it kind of stinks for the teams that do have to play teams in your district twice.
When do you guys vote on that? I know football is a 2-year cycle. You guys seem to be a little bit different, but what is it you come up and say, hey, that's a district thing, we want to do this?
It is a district thing. The district votes on it at the district meeting. We do that usually when we vote for all district. That'll come up.
Has there been any talk of that with you guys?
We have talked about it before. And I think there was like a couple of coaches in favor and maybe a few that were not. But then, you know, you got changes. So you got people moving in and out of the district. So now you got new people in it and, you know, new coach at Gary at Glenmore. So it might be different this time around, and maybe they see it different. But I just know for me, in my opinion, when I'm seeing like the Elizabeth district and Picken and all those guys when they're playing one time, I wish kind of in a way we would do that. I like a district tournament. I think it adds a little postseason flavor to it.
Well, it mirrors what you see in the NCAA and that type of thing. You know, of course, they play way more games in there, but you get the idea. I know Menard has moved to that, and that very spread out district that they have. They'll play the game and then have that tournament that's at the end of it. But I think it does give you, because it gives somebody an opportunity to put some games together and go on a little bit of a run.
Correct. And then I like the way the district tournament is, because you'll play the one round of district, and then they'll seed you.
Right.
And you go into that, and it's a tournament. And then I just kind of like that. I think it'd be kind of cool, you know, single elimination, you know, kind of gets you prepared for the playoffs.
Right. Well, I think we ought to go to that. Speaking of going to things, we're going to go to a commercial. When we come back, we'll get our BU Designs Player of the Week up here. We'll visit with that, and that's one of the best-kept secrets out there. I don't think anybody knows who it is yet. Well, except us. But we'll be back after this. You're watching the Warrior Roundup with head coach Josh Brown right here on 446 Sports.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And we are back to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday evening, Coach, and it's time to decide our BU Designs Player of the Game on here. They're going to get this handy little plaque that we've got here. Let me see if I can get that up to the crowd. There you go. Hang on, we're going back out of that just a minute. You sound like Darth Vader. There you go. That's much better. So they're going to get this brought to you by BU Designs. By, you don't have to zoom in. I'm going to put it back down, by Melissa Gann. So a couple of candidates stood out in this one, Coach, this week. Canyon Wright, of course, had 3 home runs, 11 RBI this week? 11
RBIs.
And was swinging the bat really, really well. So big time is back. There's no doubt about that. Good to have him back. And, yes, we did see on the home run where he's pointing at us. So we caught that, and that's always good. I'll take one of those a game. There's no doubt about that. It's good to see. And we were zoomed in when he hit the home run, and just to see the concentration on there too, and when we get later in the show, we'll talk about that. But he had a couple of trips to the mound as well this week.
Yeah, he beat Monterey with a start over there. Pitched 2 innings, had 4 strikeouts, and then last night he came in relief and struck out 4 as well. And he was really good in relief. Gave us an opportunity to keep it close.
And Cooper Courtright always had his first home run this week in his career. Is that right?
First one in his career. He had 8 RBIs as well. He had 3 doubles. So he had a great week as well. It was really good.
And then comes in and throws the ball as well. He's had some trips to the mound too.
Yeah, he's looked really good on the mound last night. Come in, really good velo, had 3 strikeouts. He's only getting better.
Low 80s?
I would say low 80s. He's sitting around 83, 84 on a good day.
Look, that's if you're pitching, that's mid 80s. If you're calling it, that's low
Correct.
80s. That's right. You want to give yourself a little bit of a head start. But what we like to do, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, we'll take in one of our sponsors is BU Designs, of course, and they make the plaques. That is an award for our Player of the Week. And so we come up with a couple of nominees, and then we'll pare it down and look at things. And so this week, our BU Designs Player of the Week is Canyon Wright. So we'll get Canyon to come up and visit with us here. And excited to have Canyon up here with a big week. Congratulations, sir.
Congrats, big guy.
As soon as he gets there he goes. It's not the same without the little bandana or the headband on there, man. So, great week you had. You were feeling it this week.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference? What happened this week?
Just consistency, hitting, letting everything work.
Yeah.
Not trying to do too much at the plate.
You were doing that. So when you're in the box, what are you thinking about?
Hit the ball hard.
So when you're rounding first base, I know what you're thinking about. You're thinking, what are you thinking when you give us the little point back there?
It's something that I've always wanted to do, just never thought about it at the right time.
Look, I absolutely love it too, and you ran right through the camera on it. But I don't know if you've seen, did you go back and watch the video of the one that we posted about the home run? And we were focused on you when you hit the ball too.
Yes, sir.
And that's a tremendous, I think for the folks at home, we have this. Now, they won't be able to see it here, but Chuck, can you bring that up and we can see it right here on the monitor? Going there.
That one is lifted high. That one is lifted back.
And he makes his way around the bases. Hold on to it, Chuck, for just a minute. You'll see, Coach, that little point coming in. It's like, hey, big time is back. So just a tremendous shot, and there was absolutely no doubt about it when you hit that ball. And that was great to see. And you make your way around at the end of it, and we cut it off beforehand, but you guys have a little thing you do right there by the dugout too. What's man, that was number 3 this week, wasn't it? So is it district play that's got you more comfortable?
I guess so. When district comes around, I come around.
Look, whatever it is, it certainly is working. And then on the hill too, you pitched a couple of times this week too. Take me through a little of that game yesterday. Even in a loss, I think you guys gained a lot out of playing a game like that.
Coming into the game, I was fired up, ready to play, and then I knew Logan would get the start, so I was hoping that I wouldn't have to come in, but the umpire wasn't giving us a few calls, so Logan had to come out, and then I came in and did a job.
Look, it was a great game, and sometimes You know, you played Pleasant Hill at the first of the week on there too, and this is zero slight on anybody. But I think you gained more out of that game yesterday than you did the big win on Monday.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You know, because when you get from here on out, we talked about it. You've got Benton coming up, you got Barb coming up a couple of times, you got Charter this week, 2 games, and that's always going to be a battle. Glenmore right around the corner. I look around, I was like, these guys don't have a day off anywhere in here.
Yes, sir.
What is the mindset like? You know, we talked before the season too, but with that core group of guys that you got and the younger guys, what's the mindset looking like?
Get the next game. Go on next game. Perform. Don't take a day off.
See, and it's my job to look throughout the whole rest of the season, all the things, and he's not looking past Charter on Tuesday night on that. But that's the mentality that you have to have in there too. What's the one thing that you think you've gotten better as a player this year?
Stepping up as a leader, showing and setting an example of what to do.
Coach, what do you think that you've seen maybe a physical characteristic or something else in him?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's probably the number one, the growth. I mean, just being a leader. You know, we talked about a lot of stuff in the offseason, and you've seen it. I've seen it from Maddox as well. You know, even Logan being the freshman, you're asking him to step up with those seniors and be a leader, and they've done a great job. I mean, they really have. And Canyon's going to do good things after high school, man, because his determination, his work ethic, you know, and, you know, people think he struggles when he doesn't hit home runs, and we're like, the dude was still hitting 470 all year, you know, and so we're like, he's really not struggling. I mean, he's just hitting balls on a line somewhere, line drives, finding a gap, base hits. Dude's really not struggling, just not, you know, sometimes now he's getting hot at the right time, finding the home runs. But like I said, as long as he continues to hit the ball hard somewhere, good things are going to happen.
Well, a lot of times, too, you know, seeing Brady behind him, that's hitting the ball well too. They can't pitch around you as much as they'd like to because he's getting some support behind him.
Yeah, and we talked about that a lot earlier this year. It's that somebody needed to step up and swing the bat behind him. And, you know, we saw the intentional walks early, and then when Brady makes New Iberia pay, and now the scout reports out there that, hey, you know, they got a guy in the batting right behind him that's only struck out twice all year. And that's putting the bat on the ball. You know, you really can't pitch him. Then now we've moved Maddox into the 4-hole. So, you know, good luck. And Maddox, you know, we're not really talking about much about him, but he had a really good week to start the week out, and we feel like he's getting it back going. And, you know, our top 7 hitters this week had a good week. And, you know, it's only good things are going to happen going forward.
Look, there's no doubt. And pitching and facing Kenyon, that kind of pitcher that you faced yesterday, I mean, he imposing figure out on the mound, was he? I think we talked about he's 6'4", 6'5", that's out there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he looks like he's going to come in there and dominate and throws the ball like a pitcher. That's the kind of things you're going to see the rest of the season because you're going to get the A game from everybody you guys play.
Yes, sir.
What does seeing that do to prepare you for it?
It gets us prepared for knowing like what is about to be coming up for us.
Indeed it is. Looking ahead in the rest of the season, if there's one thing that you said, you know what, I still need to tweak this a little bit to lift my game up, what is that?
Probably throwing more strikes.
Throwing more strikes, yeah. Has that seemed to been one of the things that you feel has plagued you?
Not necessarily plague me, but it's something that I'm not doing as much as I would like to.
Right. Well, any time that we see opponents and you get up there and you're throwing and the PA music is going and their strikeouts, it just aggravates the crowd, the opposing crowd, the opposing players. And I think that fuels you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. When the other team starts getting upset and you can tell it, it just starts making me feel good.
Look, that's the reason, Canyon, that you are as successful as you've been on there. Looking forward to a big week out of you this week with the Voyles Charter.
Yes, sir.
You guys are sitting at 4-0 in district play, and that'll go a long way towards that initial goal of a district title for you guys. So I know you're pumped up about it. Congratulations on your win for the Player of the Week, and looking forward to more of those out of you, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
There you go. Big time Kenyon Wright joins us here on the Warrior Roundup, Coach. We'll be right back right after this on 446 Sports.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in last dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. 446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Fully, if I wouldn't have swerved.
So we're finding out a little bit about his pregame over there that he had. Logan Markle, Maddox Adderley's join us on here, guys, and big game yesterday. Didn't come out like you wanted it to, but it certainly. Can you not hear?
I cannot.
He cannot. Maddox can't. There you go. I don't know if you. Okay. Look, it was a point that I was good. No, I say you still can't. So it's when I don't talk that you can't hear it. There you go. Again, we talked a little bit about it earlier. A game like that, it's not how it turned out like you wanted. But what do you take out of a game like that? Logan, we'll start with you.
I just take that we've seen good pitching. You know, it was a good game to go right before charter.
Balk. No, I thought you were used to hearing that so much yesterday. I just thought it was you couldn't focus if you didn't hear that from 4 or 5 people.
I didn't let it affect me.
No, not at all. Look, I think I might have had too much fun with it too. It was it got a little hectic over there. But no, anyway, go ahead. What do you?
We seen really good pitching. It was a great game to go into right before charter. You know, we're gonna see good pitching Tuesday, and just be ready for that.
How are you feeling now? I see the bandage is gone. Is that when I saw you're able to grip the bat completely?
Oh, I'm good now.
Unless something else comes up.
Unless something else comes up.
Don't let something else come up. That's all. That's all I can say. Maddox, how about that with yesterday?
It was good competition. You know, it was better than that was the best competition we've seen in a little bit, in my opinion. That's going to be good heading the charter.
What do you have to do to focus on that? You guys are sitting at 4-0 in district play, and this is a big 2-game set for you guys because you get a split, get both of these games, which is what the goal is. Then you're really in good shape when you come into the last week, but you've got to focus this week. So what's the mindset going into Tuesday night?
Win the ball game.
There you go. Look, it's always those teams. Anytime you play the 2-time defending state champion, you know that they're going to bring that sort of game to it, and you throw records out, you throw everything else out, and it's just pure baseball. So what gives you the edge in that, Logan?
I don't know. We just got to come out, kick them in the face, get ahead quick.
That's a great answer. Yeah, that's good stuff. Senior year, Maddox, last shot at charter in here in district play. I know that's got to be important to you.
Oh, it is. The game's always been very fun against charter, even though we haven't won. But I'm hoping to change that this year.
Right.
Make a new narrative.
And that's absolutely has to fuel you. You'll go out there. I think is it still an afternoon game, or do they have lights out there now?
They have lights out there.
Okay,
now.
So what time is game time? 6 o'clock. So you'll make that trip. I remember it used to be during spring break, and it would be a daytime game and just threw everything off. But your focus certainly ought to be there on that. First half of the season, Logan, where you think you're standing on what you want to do? What is one thing that you said, hey, you know what, I can correct this?
My hitting. I need to get better, putting the ball, getting hits more. I'm seeing a bunch of pitches in my at-bats, but I just think I need to attack more in some of
And we talked about that on the air last night. As a leadoff hitter, you respond in that role, and you're not up there just first ball swinging. You are getting deep in the count, and that not only lets you see more pitches, but it lets your teammates see some more pitches as well as they're watching on. So how important is that role to get deep in the count?
It works the pitcher, shows them that we're still in this game even when we're down. And just get on base, let Canyon get a hit and not try to do too much.
Right. That group, Maddox, you've moved into the 4-hole on there the last couple of games. You've got, of course, Logan there with you in front of you. Canyon is there. Brady's there. It's a good group on base ahead of you. What does it look like when you know that there are going to be runners on base for you?
Just try to get a base hit and score them.
Look, you guys have done a lot of that lately. You've put some big runs up on the board on there. Coach, offensively, what's your mindset with the new rules that are in there that saying, in 2 innings and 3 innings and 4 innings, we can get somebody out of here and save some arms? With the new run rules.
Well, yeah, for sure. We've done some things where, we want to. Usually when it's a 10-run lead, we say don't steal anymore.
Right.
But we try to get to 15 because we do want to save our arms, to be honest with you. We've done that a couple games this year, and it's no disrespect to anybody. But there's been a couple times we have done it, and then there's been a couple games we did not do it because we feel like, hey, that team respects us enough. They've done, in the past, they did that to us, so we want to return the favor. But there's at times we're like, hey, this is a tough week this week. We need to make sure we save some arms because we got some games coming up. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, and I think some teams honestly don't mind it because they're like, hey, we're saving an arm as well. We can get out of here in 3 innings, and we got a game tomorrow. So, I mean, I think it works both ways, to be honest with you. I think some coaches, it's a mutual respect. I mean, and honestly, it is. It does go a long way when you got a guy who can throw tomorrow 5 innings that you would have had to throw him 2 innings that day or something,
There you go. All right, Logan and Maddox, non-baseball related questions. We've talked all year long in the last couple of years on baseball and baseball and baseball. I want to find out a little bit more about the two of you guys, okay? Favorite subject at school? Logan, we'll start with you.
Math, 100%.
Math, okay. Why is math?
I've always been good at math.
All right, there you go. Look, it's mine as well. Maddox?
Hold on.
There's got to be one. There's got to be something that you like.
I mean,
lunch doesn't count.
I guess English.
English. Is there a teacher that has stood out and affected you guys positively? Look, this is the point where you better come up with something, is all I can tell you.
I mean, Mr. Barrios was cool.
Right. Look, that's a quote, too. I'll tell you, Mr. Barrios taught me back at Tioga. So that'll show you how, I don't know what I'm pointing out of who's older, but anyway, Mr. Barrios taught me out at Tioga way back.
Oh, yeah.
Way back.
He's a cool cat.
He is. He's been that way.
All the kids love Mr. Barrios.
He's been that way for a lot of years, without a doubt. All right, Logan, a teacher that stands out. You can say Coach Brown if you want to. I
don't know. No one really stands out to me.
Wow. I gotta watch that question. Okay, you still do the thing at lunch where you have your order and you turn your order in. Do you guys still do that, where they bring lunch to the school?
Yeah, there's something like that. I think the parents do it or something. I don't know.
Okay, what's your favorite? What's your go-to for lunch?
That we order?
That you order?
Canes.
That's new on there. Is that you, Maddox, as well?
No, I go home and eat.
You go home, and I guess that's the difference between senior life and freshman life. If you leave for lunch, they're going to come after you, aren't they? You're going to get a phone call. Favorite Coach Brown memory? Coach, you can't listen to this. Turn Coach Brown's headset off. There you go. Now he can't hear you anymore. I think he probably can, but anyway. No. Favorite Coach Brown memory on there. And it doesn't have, it just one of those comical, you turned me off that time.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm just trying to rethink and get my memory back.
Because there are so many special moments, right? You're welcome. Yes, you're supposed to nod accordingly and say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go.
Give us a second. I don't know. This will take a minute.
Coach, we'll flip it over to your side of it. What's something that stood out? Clutch hit, big moment from Maddox, from Logan?
I don't know anything.
One thing from Logan, only struck out one time all year. He talks about getting his bat going and this and that, but he does put the ball in play, finds a way to get on base, and that's all you can ask from a leadoff guy.
Right.
I think that stands out a lot to me. And having him
hold
back,
that thought a minute. You know we legitimately can hear you. Everybody, you're not whispering when the microphone's right in front of you, man. Come on, Coach. Back to you.
Having him back on the mound is a tremendous asset to our team. And, you know, it makes our pitching staff complete. So we're lucky to have him back. And then Maddox, you know, he's going to find ways to get the job done. And, you know, the one thing that stands out to me this year is his pitching. I mean, he's really been big in some big-time moments on the mound. So that's one thing that really stands out to me this year. He's pitched really good his last 3 outings.
His ability over at first base has been solid too. We've seen the infield move around a good bit. Anytime anyone's pitching, they've been able to switch roles on there too, and that's beneficial. Did you guys come up with something at least while you were whispering and we couldn't hear you?
I mean, the only one I can think of. There's probably one deep in my brain. I just can't think of it.
Right.
It's probably when we made them dance to our theme song on the bus.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay, well then that's new. Which theme song and which dance? Because we have a little time left. We can still, Chuck, if you have that song, I don't know if you.
I don't know if
I don't know which one it is. No, what? I don't need to know the name of the song.
Well, it's a Young Boy song. It's a rap song.
Young Boy. Is that that is his name?
I don't even know. You could name the rapper.
But you did the dance.
He did his little dance.
I'm trying to think which game they're talking about.
It was after who we played. It was after the Mamu game.
He did it in the clubhouse.
This year?
No, it was last year.
No, he did it on the bus.
He did it in the clubhouse too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I have a video.
I don't think it was a Mamu game.
We played Mamu at Eunice. It was on the bus. I had the video.
Okay.
I think it had to be against somebody else.
Who has the video?
I had the video.
I need to say we're gonna have to.
you.
Yeah, let's have this.
Whoa! Hey,
this is look, Coach. It's for the camaraderie and the good of the team, Coach. No, we'll leave it out to the crowd.
Kind of
should we see the video?
Yeah, we should
All
see
right,
the video.
it's unanimous out in the crowd,
Well, you
Coach.
gotta have fun with the boys every now and then, you know.
That's right. That's right, and you should be able to share in that.
I was gonna take a minute.
You have to be real careful too.
This might be a good way to get polls tomorrow.
That's exactly right. Goodness gracious. Oh, those headsets. Look, I'll remind you, those headsets are still on. Coach, okay, so we've got the. Now, this is already interesting. Okay, I don't know if. Yeah, look, and so this isn't going to be near as cool out there, but it's really neat here. For me. All right, let's see. And so, somebody snapped you, and never mind. We'll get out of that. Yeah. And you've got food too, Coach. Have you seen this video? Oh, look. Yes.
I have not seen that video. Wow.
Chuck, if there's absolutely any way we're going to go back in there. Chuck, I'm going to leave this right here for you, buddy. And those, you'll have to go back and watch the show at home, but there are some that can see this. Now, this is the slow approach. Here we go. Miss Tanya, it's all yours. That's your man. Look, a lot of fun. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, so I try to do that when Chuck's over there. That was well worth the wait, gentlemen. That was certainly worth it. Looking forward to a big week out of you guys. Maddox, Logan, looking for a big one. Great week, great season so far. Tremendous job, and we'll see you back Thursday. Go get them Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Warrior Roundup on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hall. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible, so if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
I don't know when else we've had this kind of fun on a Sunday night, Coach. This is just – so what was the name of the song? I didn't catch the name of the song. I couldn't get past that part of it.
I have no idea.
That was I don't know. Coach, one thing about it, though, it's good to see that sort of camaraderie with the guys, that chemistry, because that means that they're comfortable around each other and they're playing well together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they all love each other, man. They're pulling for each other. This is one of the close-knit groups I've ever had,
right,
for sure. And they want to see everybody succeed and do well.
And that makes such a difference, too, because you do see the different age levels that are out there, you know, all the way down to the eighth grader Drew Horn that's playing, and the junior Colton Fields. See, all year long up until last week, I thought you had two eighth graders starting, and I get
Drew Horn, he's got the moves now out of anybody on the team. I'll tell you that.
Is he the best?
Drew Horn's one of the best dancers for sure. He's kind of staring at us right now.
He doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want anybody to know about it, huh? Look, that's great. That's fantastic that you've got from top to bottom, because it is important for the seniors to bring up and lift up. Because I'm going to tell you, 8th grade to 12th grade, it goes like that in here. You turn around and it's there before you know it.
We talked about that last night before the game. You know, in a blink of an eye, and you're gone, or you know. And I told them make memories, man, while you're here. You know. Don't be in a hurry to leave, do things, you know, spend time with your brothers, because it goes by quick, man.
Look, at the end of the day, you know, when the stadium lights don't come on anymore and all of that stuff fades, Coach, they're just, I don't know that wins and losses are going to be as memorable as those memories that are made. And, you know, yes, you'll remember
for sure
a big key game that's on there, but nobody's calling back talking about these games. They're talking about the time before the game, or they're talking about the bus ride after the game, or all of these things. And I think when people get sight of that it's bigger than the wins and losses.
Sure.
It's life.
And they love the bus rides. I think that's one of their favorite times together. You know, it's those bus rides home and away, and you know, then going to eat after the game, spending time with each other. You know, with everybody's families and friends that are traveling to watch the games. It's just, you know, that's what it's all about, you know.
Look, that triggers a memory. It's amazing how things go all the way back to then. There was a road trip to Monroe that we were on, okay, back with baseball back in, I don't know if it was 15 or 16 or 17 or whatever it was. And as you're coming back down there late at night, down 165, there's not really anywhere to stop and eat. And so you waited and stopped and got out of town, and there was nowhere. And so you stopped at Dairy Queen and Ball to eat after a game in Monroe. I was like, we're going home. I'm not stopping at Dairy Queen in Ball and doing this. We going on to the house.
Probably one of them boys wanted some ice cream or something. Who knows what, or I don't know. We used to, you never know where we'd stop sometimes.
You just never know. Coach Josh Brown, it's been a great Sunday evening. Looking forward to 2 big games against Charter on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday game is on the road at 6 p.m. at Charter. Thursday, they'll be back here at Merrill Blackburn Field, and so looking forward to that one. That's also a 6 p.m. start.
Correct.
And look, you're just a week away from senior night, too, or a couple of weeks away from that, man. It's
crazy.
It flies like that. You guys are making the most of it. Congratulations to Big Time Canyon Wright. He is our player of the week, 3 home runs and 11 RBI. Great week for Cooper Courtwright. Great week for the Warriors on there. They drop a tough one to Westlake, but I think they gained a lot out of it. And looking forward to see how that does along the way. Final thoughts, Coach?
I'm just excited about this week, man. The kids are ready to go back to work tomorrow at practice, and, one game at a time. We're going to see what happens.
There you go. Head coach Josh Brown, Chuck Perkins. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night.